The story of Deion Sanders before he became Coach Prime Part 2. Before Deion Sanders was Coach Prime, there was Primetime Part Number 2 as a free agent who was the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year and fresh off of beating Dallas on the way to a San Francisco Super Bowl win. Sanders switched sides and signed a 7-year, $35 million contract with the Cowboys, making him the highest-paid defensive player in the league. He made his presence felt immediately. Darren Woodson, Dallas Cowboys safety, his first day he came to us, "We're doing one-on-one drills. Half the DBS on one side, the other half on the other side." He got his first rep and he gave up and out, like a 12-yard comeback, whatever. And there's 5 other DBS on that side and I'm on the opposite side, and I saw the other DBS heading our way. I hear him yelling at the DBS, "Hey, if you want to get reps, you better go on the other side," because he's pissed off he gave up and out. "You ain't getting no reps. I'm going to lock this down." And he did all the one-on-ones on that side of the field by himself and he shut it down. They tried to run a post, run nines, go routes, deep comebacks. He's knocking them down. It was like right then I knew he was different. He was willing to do whatever. That's what made him special. The Cowboys would go on to win Super Bowl XXX that season, Sanders' second straight championship, and he showed his next-level understanding of football on a play when he actually allowed a touchdown. If only Woodson had listened. Woodson, there's one story he still gets mad at me about. We're in the Super Bowl. We're playing man and Pittsburgh is on the 5-yard line. So Deion says before the play, "Migo." We had skinny legs and he called me Flamingo, but Migo for short. I hear him, "Migo, they running a slant. Pick it off. Be the hero." Because he knows receiver Yancey Thigpen is running the slant on the backside and all I've got to do is stand there. But I've got the running back. So the back flares the opposite way and I go with him. But if I sit there, I could have been a hero. Sanders is playing outside leverage. He doesn't actually give up the touchdown if we just play it the right way, but he's expecting me to stand there. They throw the slant, score the touchdown and he looked at me, and I mean, he wouldn't look at me the rest of the game. He was done. Then after the game, "Migo, you could have been a hero. Could have been a hero. Now I'm the dude giving up a touchdown." We bring it up all the time. That story stuck with me for so long because if I just stood there, it's a pick 6. But that's Deion. Highly intelligent. High football IQ. After spending 5 Pro Bowl seasons with the Cowboys, Sanders was released for salary cap reasons in 2000 and signed a 7-year, $56 million contract with Washington. Future Hall of Fame cornerback Champ Bailey was in his second NFL season, and the 22-year-old found himself in a locker room full of defensive legends. "Bailey, I was just a young player, I hadn't even scratched the surface at that point, and I already had one of my idols in the locker room, future Hall of Famer Darryl Green, and now Deion Sanders signed." It was so surreal at the time. I mean, that was like cornerback college. Just the knowledge, sitting in the meetings, all of the things I would get from him, how to watch tape, looking at receivers' splits and how they come off the ball, how he used all those things when he played. It was just really surreal. Even when it came to style, Bailey saw Sanders' attention to detail in his trademark game gear. Bailey, first preseason game that year, I walk in the locker room, and his locker is right next to mine. His uniform is all laid out on the floor, everything, bandana, gloves, shoes, jersey, pants, everything, and it's all laid out like he was in it and just jumped up out of it and it stayed behind. Like he laid down and got up and his clothes were still there, even the headband he would put around his neck, everything. Laughs, it was just his thing, like how he visualized it all. You can't put a price on those memories. It makes me laugh now, but everybody respected that space. Nobody was going to mess with his stuff. That was a first ballot Hall of Famer right there. Of course it was only for like 6 months. Once Coach Norv Turner got fired, I knew that was it for him there. Sanders' first retirement came in July 2001, when he was 33, because he didn't want to play for Coach Marty Schottenheimer, who replaced Turner. Cornerback Fred Smoot didn't get to play with Sanders since he was drafted that spring, but he practiced with the veteran, who already was guiding younger players. Smoot, what blew me away, the first time I was in the meeting room and I'm looking at these guys, Sanders, Green, Bailey, and I'm like, why did they draft me? Prime's got a recliner in there. He's got a recliner. He would say you need to get off them feet now. Now I know why, because it was hurting him. I used to talk to Prime when I was in college. I would get phone calls and we'd chat it up and just talk, and I mimicked everything I did after Prime. He was everything for me. And then to be drafted to the same locker room. I patterned everything I did after him. That included wanting to wear Sounders' uniform number. Smoot, I wore 23 for the first months I was here because Prime was wearing 21. I got 21 when he gave me his locker, the number. He gave me everything. Then he was not only like, Smoot, I know you want this 21. I'll give it to you. I'll give you the locker. I'm out. Next time I see you, we'll be playing on different sidelines. He was right. On August 31, 2004, Sanders came out of retirement to sign a 1-year, $1.5 million contract, plus $2 million in incentives with the Baltimore Ravens and played against Smoot in Washington that season. Smoot, he's playing for the Ravens wearing 37, Sanders' age. We're talking trash to see who will touch the ball first. Second quarter I get the interception and run it back and get tackled on their sideline and I'm looking for him. A drive later he gets a pick. He's looking for me. I was nowhere to be found. That's one of my favorite games ever. I got to trade jabs in the game with the best corner ever to do it. It was that Karate Kid moment, the sensei against Mr. Miyagi. In 2005, Sanders' final NFL season, he was a nickelback for the Ravens. In his final game, a 20-16 loss to Cleveland, safety Ed Reed picked off Charlie Fry and lateraled it to Samari Rowell. He then lateraled it to Chad Williams in a creative play that showed how much Sanders meant to them. Rex Ryan, Ravens defensive coordinator, Sanders had some kind of bonus for play time. It was like a $1 million bonus or something. The last game he's ever playing, we're sitting there, and it's like, we got to get him in the end zone. So every time we got a takeaway against Cleveland in the finale, we kept pitching to try to find Deion. One of the funniest ones, and I guess I forgot to tell Coach Brian Billick. Defensive back Chad Williams is going down, and he literally throws the ball backward 20 yards, thinking, well, Deion has to be back there somewhere. Brian was like, what the hell are we doing? We were going to get Deion's ass in the end zone. We never did, but man, we were trying. Sanders retired for good in January 2006 at age 38. After some time coaching high school football, he became the head coach at Jackson State on September 21, 2020, before taking over at Colorado on December 3, 2022. But long before then, Sanders was showing signs as a player that he may one day become a coach with his ability to connect with younger people. Bailey, he was always such a good mentor. Even now, I could reach out to him for anything. He was always looking out for guys. It was just his way, it never felt phony. He definitely loves himself, but he always treated everyone, treated me, so well. But as a young guy then, every gesture he made to me, everything he took the time to do, no matter how big or how small, it meant so much to me. As a coach's dream player, he also understood the symbiotic relationship between coach and player, making each other better. Shanahan, I'm not surprised he's a coach at all. Because you know what? The way he did things, the way he practiced, works, one of the smartest players I've been around, and always just so honest in how he dealt with you. I mean, I tried to get him to sign in Denver when I got the job with the Broncos in 1995. Deion was trying to go to Dallas as a free agent, but I wanted him here. I tried so hard to get him, I picked him up at the airport myself, I was his Uber. I knew this guy could make me a much better head coach if I could get him. Sanders' slick tongue has come in handy off the field, too, as a recruiter, like when he flipped cornerback Travis Hunter from his alma mater, Florida State, to Jackson State in 2021. It was the first time a five-star high school football prospect signed with an FCS team since ESPN started its rankings in 2006. Smooth, football is this dude's life. When I knew he was going into coaching, I said this will be dangerous. First, there's no household in America he can't walk in and he'll walk out with your son. As a player, who better to teach me what I've got to go through on the field, off the field, how to promote myself, how to do every niche of the game. No other coach can do that. Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones couldn't hold back his excitement after watching Deion coach this season. Jones, what I loved more than anything is when those players would come off that field and he was over there giving them some love, and those weren't his sons. Oh, my goodness, I could see him sitting over there. I loved it. Let me tell you something, he's a hell of a coach. He's a hell of a coach. Todd Archer, Jamison Hensley, Jeff Legwold, John Keim, Mike Rothstein and Nick Wagoner contributed to this story.